Alright, so today I'm going to be doing my PCV valve on my 2012 Mazdaspeed3. Front mount or top mount intercooler is going to come off. Same with the intake manifold. I'm going the long way. I'm not going to try to reach up in between. I'm going to take the whole manifold off anyways. So it was a 10 millimeter to take the shroud off, and then it's a 12 millimeter to take that one out, and it's also a 10 to take these hose clamps off. 10 or 9, I think, to take those hose clamps off. Now you're gonna want to pry your bypass valve, vacuum hose off, and on the recirc hose, you want to pull that off, and then the whole top mount should come off. Oh, there's one back here, so don't forget that one. Okay, so now the top mount is off. You can see it just pulls right off, sitting over there. Now I'm also going to do spark plugs and a compression check while I'm in here. So before I pull the spark plugs, I'm going to want to pull the fuel fuse and let the motor stall out of gas. That way there's no fuel in the lines. That way I can thread the compression tester in to each cylinder, crank it, and check the PSI. Okay, so on my Mazdaspeed3, the fuel pump's sitting right there, which would be 25 right here. So I'm gonna grab it and pull it on out. Now, do not break the fuse in the process. Put it down, and now let's start it and let it stall. This is my old plug, if it'll focus. But something I realized is I had the NGK iridiums. Someone did one-step colder plugs, and they're cracked. I don't know how much that affects anything, but I'm gonna replace them anyways. Don't seem to be too bad on the threads. No oil getting by this one. This is cylinder 1. So I'm gonna put new ones, already gapped to 0.026. Let's look at the comparison here. So yeah, old one, new one going in. Alright, well, second one is also cracked. Doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna see what the gap is on this one. Third one looks pretty bad. Whoever put these in here tightened them down way too far, way too tight. That's why they're cracking. They're cracked before I pull them out. Last owner did not take care of this car. Cylinder 4 is probably the best looking one of all, and that's not saying much. But it's not cracked. He must not have used an impact to put this one in. So on a compression test, you're gonna have this. This has threads at the bottom. You're gonna match which one, there's 3 of them. You're gonna match which one matches your threads on your spark plugs, and you're gonna spin it in there. It's a soft hose. You're gonna spin it in until it's as tight as it'll go. Then you'll hook this thing up to it. Have a friend crank the car until the needle doesn't go any higher. That's your compression for that cylinder. Okay, so now I'm installing my front mount. You want to pull that. Then you want to continue over here to that one, this one, that one, and that one. Once those are out, you want to do the bottoms and along the wheel well, and then the whole front bumper should be able to come off. Alright, so today's a different day. I put it on the turbo, ran the front pipe down. See if I can get a view of it. Down on the inside of that radiator hose, over to the 90 in the front here. and then another 90 angled up to the, I think that was a 60 degree or something like that, up into the throttle body. Now, some people run it under this radiator hose. I ran it over top. Now I ran it for a blow-off valve, but I'm gonna swap to a recirc again, just to try to see if I'm having a weird idle. AFRs are bouncing around a little bit at idle when I come down, so I'm gonna do that and see if that'll fix it. My shifter weight was hitting my intercooler piping like that. I believe it was like that. I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was like that. I don't think it was any other way. So I don't have the time nor the want to buy a counterweight. It's just metal. When I have metal right here that I could take some off of. So I cut down a little less than half. Half would have taken one of the screws with it, and then I grinded it down nice, and I rounded all the corners, got all the sharp metal off. So now I got primer and paint because I don't want this to continue to rust. So I'm gonna give this a nice shot of primer and then paint too. And then it's gonna bolt right back on, and it'll be a lighter weight, and it'll clear my intercooler piping. And then I gotta show you guys that again too. I had to reroute the throttle body pipe, the cold pipe. Alright, so I had to reroute the intercooler piping underneath this radiator hose instead of over top. I was running it over top, but it was pulling the throttle body coupler off, and my recirc hose wouldn't fit onto the recirc valve. So this is the way I had to make it fit. Now, I don't know if you want to keep the CX Racing recirc. I don't know, I am. It doesn't seem to hurt anything, and adds kind of an extra color underneath the hood. But you can go back to your OEM recirc valve too. And then as for the under tray, so right now I haven't had time to do it because I had to reassemble all this because it was getting dark. This fin right here, under the entire length of the intercooler, you're gonna have to chop that off. You're gonna have to chop a lot of the raised plastic off. That way you can bolt it back up. Otherwise it's gonna be like that. Now this is not permanent. This is temporary. I'm gonna be pulling this back off in the next day or two to actually cut that extra piece off. And then also, if you see the brackets up here, and I'm using those like L brackets that drop down and are supposed to bolt into the top of this. Well, the problem is they don't fit. They don't fit into the top of that. So do yourself a favor and just don't even bolt it up to here. Take this plate, and then the mounting holes right here and here are the same on the bottom of this. So if you want to pull your crash bar off to make it easier, you can do that, but mount it on the top of the bottom lip, if that makes sense, and completely get rid of these brackets, these long brackets, and just bolt it straight into the intercooler. That's what I'm going to end up doing, because the brackets just total garbage. And then you can see I put one of the extra sleeves they gave me right there, and you can see it's already rubbing, so that's good. It's on this huge cylinder thing. Get the camera in there. There you go. So I wrapped one, and then I wrapped the other one around this AC hardline right here, because it's wanting to rub it, so that'll stop it from rubbing a hole in the AC hardline or the intercooler pipe. I pulled these studs out for the top mount, except for that one I think is welded on. I'm gonna look at taking this entire bracket off though. It is a little rusty back there, so we'll see. But it should only be one bolt holding it on right there. Oh, and no, that's not a bolt. Yeah, it is. So 2 bolts holding it on. Only problem, to get to that bolt, you have to take the heat shielding off and get to it with a weird angled wrench. I don't think you can get to it with a ratchet with an extension. And there's my down pipe right there. Got a broke stud on my turbo exhaust side, if you guys can see that. I'm trying to focus it. There you go. That bottom stud is broken off. So, but my turbo's fucked anyways, so I'll be getting a B&R turbo here soon. Yeah, so that's how I had to reroute. And it is a pain in the butt to route these and get them all like connected enough to clamp this on. They gave you like just enough piping and couplers to do it. You can make it easier by getting 2 extra length 90-degree couplers. Make your life way easier. I didn't. I also wrapped this myself with that gold heat reflective tape. I'm not sure how well it's working, but I don't know, I guess it can't hurt anything, right? I don't know if I shared this with you either, but the compression on each cylinder came back to 160 on cylinder 1, 90 on cylinder 2, 160 and 160. So we're looking at doing the leak down test. The leak down test is going to tell me if it's my intake valves, exhaust valves, or my rings. Hopefully it's my valves, because that'll be easier to do. If it's my rings, well, I'm not even going to fuck with this motor. This motor has 144,000 miles on it. I'm just going to order a fully built one from Overspeed, capable of handling like 600 horsepower, something like that. And then I'll just swap it in. All right, I'm over here priming the cut weight. It doesn't have to be a pretty job. No one's really gonna see it. I just want to stop it from rusting. So I'm gonna hit it one more time on this side, and then I'm gonna start painting. All right, so I did my first coat of red. Honestly, I'm probably only gonna do 1-2 coats. Like I said, this isn't something that I want to look good. It's just so I can stop it from rusting and not be primer gray in my engine bay. And I had red laying around, so yeah, that's what I'm using. I'm gonna flip it around, do the other side. Okay, well, there you have it. Now it fits. It's in first gear, and it doesn't even come close to touching anymore. So that's good. I won't be bothered by the coolant line. And that's it. I only went with 1 coat. That's all I needed. 1 coat of red. So let me pull it out of first and we'll see what it looks like. Alright, so this is in neutral. Just sits there. It's not even really noticeable. Yeah, but if you are running a blow-off valve and you route this pipe over top of this AC line, that might be more visible. I guess you can go either way, whether you're running recirc or blow-off valve. But yeah, so that was a quick little fix too. And then I gotta come down here and fix that, but that'll be tomorrow.